What made me say yes to coaching? And awareness, knowing that I needed, there were like two areas specifically in my life that I needed help with, and it was time management and organization, right? And so I have friends that I call on to help me and do certain things. Like one time, Anitra came over here, helped me clean out my junk room. I called Kim. Like I can, the list goes on and on for things that I don't want to do by myself or don't know how to do or need help with. And I have these friends that I reach out to help me in those areas. But I knew that I needed myself to work on that time management thing. I get that honest from my mom, just being open and available for everybody and not managing the time right, just on time management on all levels, right? Be late to a lot of things and stuff like that. And I know it all it comes back to something, right? So just being aware that I needed some help and I needed some like professional help, like somebody that is not just going to come over and help me, but like help me to get it in me. Hello? Okay.
Yeah. So when you came into with the time management and the organization and you started to see that it was a little bit different.
Honey, who on here? Let me see who on here before I really start talking, huh? That's why I said raw and uncut, honey, because when we had our first conversation and you gave me my first assignment, I like the little, the worksheets, you work on yourself, you work on building yourself and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I could do this. I got this, right? And then you messed around and said, I need you to read the Bible 4 days out the week too. And I'm saying to myself, what does that have to do with time management and organization? Honey, I came here for that. You telling me read the Bible, right? And it was hard for me and a struggle for me because you know my story. After my mom passed, a lot of y'all don't know this, but that was tough. Still is. After my mom passed, I stopped praying. So to be asked to read the Bible and I ain't even praying, that was tough. That was tough, right? And my position on that was I called myself surrendering to, hey, God, this your world. I prayed for my mom, and you said no. What I'm praying for? What am I praying for? Right? And that was my position that I took. And so I just backed down and lived under the prayers of the people at the church, my husband, because it was like, I didn't want the disappointment. If I don't ask you for something, I can't, or expect something, I can't be disappointed. Right.
Yeah.
So, before I even lost my hair, remember I was up in North Carolina because we're transitioning, we have to move there. And before my hair even came out, I had said I needed some help. And I thought I was getting help on time management, organization, honey. My whole life has changed right now. And it all started with you. I had to trust your process. Your process said, read the Bible. I said time and management. But guess what? God is a God of time and order. Hello?
Yes.
So if I need help with time management and organization, that where you think I'm gonna get that from?
Yeah, it's a different concept, right?
Yes, honey.
You gotta learn like the steps, the steps to get the time management. But it's just like, but when you actually get to know God, you're gonna act. that faith is gonna show by what you do. And so it was definitely, you had to trust the process of something totally different than what you were used to.
Yes. And for the longest I lived, my mom exemplified faith to the highest, right? She loved God so much, like I was living under her love for God. Like I didn't have my own relationship. Hello? Right? I didn't have my own relationship. So that's why when she passed, I died too.
Yeah, talk about that, because you said that you had actually, when we were going through it, you said, I thought I was just, surrendering to God. And I was like, well, it sounds like you've actually given up, because there's a difference to surrendering to God and his will versus actually like giving up. And that's kind of what I was seeing. So talk about like that giving up part. And even realizing now, oh, am I really giving up or am I really just surrendering to God?
First of all, let me tell you something, Kendra. Let me tell you what one of my struggles was. I was a sidebar cussing Christian. I would shoot me out a couple of curse words here and there, especially in my group, right? If my group come out and they shoot out a wrong note, we get off stage. I said, what the heck was that? But I only could say that to certain members because I expected the best from them because I knew that I was giving God my best because, hello, I told you I wasn't praying. So when I was singing, that was my relationship, my connection, what that was with God. So anybody that came in here playing with it, that wasn't whatever for me. And so I despise bad notes and stuff like that because that means you ain't practicing, you ain't getting yourself together and doing what you're supposed to do. And we gonna do this. And so how dare me? I was being so stern and strict with that, but I was struggling my own self because that was my worship. That's why in practice was so important because it wasn't practice for me. God was still there, and that was my connection, my relationship, right? And so I forgot the question. What you said?
I was talking about how you said that you thought you were surrendering.
Right. So yeah. I got it. So I told you that I was surrendering, and you said it's a thin line. You surrendering or you giving up? And I'm so glad you couldn't see me, and you couldn't, because I'm saying to myself, I said surrender. Okay, you want to call it giving up? Okay, giving up. And you were telling me that I was looking at God through a foggy lens. And I was like, I don't even wear glasses, So, at first I was like, I wasn't confronting myself, right? And I flipped out a couple of, little smidges here. I ain't cussed, but I get it from my daddy. My daddy was a cusser, right? So I learned cussing before I even went to school. And so, I would say little things, under my breath, but I trusted your process and I did it. And I realized when you say something that is the truth and it resonates, it makes you follow what I'm saying? Own up to it. And I realized, oh yeah, I wasn't surrendering. That was me giving up, because to stop praying was, yeah, I gave up, And I had one of the sisters at the church. She pulled me to the side because being the director of Revelation, Pew, Exalted, every song group out here, and she pulled me to the side, and she was trying to be helpful. She was being helpful, what she thought, by telling me that I needed to go to the prayer circle, because I had stopped going to the prayer circle, right? Because, to me, the church, it was just always asking. We had one member, I know, Talana, she would always go up and thank God for blessings. There were other members too that would just go up and thank, but everybody seemingly in the prayer circle, it was always asking. And I'm just looking at them like, y'all don't know, y'all need to surrender. I'm looking at them like, because my perspective was, why? Like, just God, everything is going to happen how it's happening. And I was struggling with that. And so when she asked me about that, I got offended because she didn't ask me why I didn't go. She just told me that I need to go because of what it, appears, me being the director, I need to be a face up in the circle. And my thing was, it doesn't matter what they think, because God sees it. And it really, I can't try to be something for them that I'm not even being for God. You follow what I'm saying? So it was very hurtful, although she was trying to help, and I get it. But I was just struggling with some things myself, and I didn't want to take that energy to the prayer circle.
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean, even that within itself is wisdom too. And so when we talked about, studying the Bible and beginning to do that, it was hard for you to actually to read the Bible. So it took about maybe 6-7 weeks or so for you to actually start reading it, because you felt like it was a chore. It was like,
it was an assignment. That's what it was.
It's an assignment, right?
Okay.
Right.
And I was not going to have you helping me and taking the time to help me and not at least do my part of the assignment. So I was doing my stuff and getting it done, because when Kelly goes in, Kelly commits, Kelly does what she's going to do. So I was doing it because you asked me to do it, huh? You asked me to do it because it was a part of your process. And then I started in September, and I would read and I would read, and I just wasn't there. I wasn't there, but I was doing it, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. And around then remember I called you one our week, because we have we have weekly we check in every week. And I was excited because I was like, I gotta do something. This ain't working. Right. And I called Kendra and I said, I'm challenging myself to do one book a week, right? The whole book. And then I got to Mark or Luke, one of them, and I was like, oh man, I ain't gonna finish. This ain't good. So now I'm challenging myself, because when I set out to do a goal, I like to hit it, right? My competitive stuff, I like to hit it. And so one day I was coming home from the shop and I was 8 chapters behind. So I found me a YouTube version. I listened to it while I was driving home, because I had to hurry and catch up, because Kendra was going to be waiting for this assignment at the end of the week. Kendra, not God. Kendra, right? And so I messed up and I slipped up on a good one with good commentary and stuff. And I was like, oh, I liked it. So it started getting interesting, because now I wasn't just by myself. I felt like I had somebody with me and talking to me, and I'm talking back to him. And he ain't saying nothing, but I'm still saying, yeah, you know, and all this, and I'm getting hype, and I was so excited. So by the time I got to Luke, honey, we was way in December. Honey, Christmas had come and gone. Okay, I started in September. By the time December came, I was on it, and I was going in here, and when I'm cooking, when I'm cooking, I got my headset on. I haven't been able to talk to my friends and be on the phone and stuff, because I set a goal and I was sticking to my schedule that you made me write out. Hello, time management organization. I was sticking to my schedule. And if I get on the phone, it takes away from what my productive day. Because one of those worksheets, I learned that, are you being busy or are you being productive? And I found out that it was a lot of busy, not productive. And so I started just getting into it, getting into my word, getting into what I had to do. Because a lot of people call on me, I just like they used to do my mom. Let me hear your thoughts, stuff like that. So a lot of people would call on me, and I would be there for everybody. It was helping me get through, but Kelly still was having her own stuff she was dealing with, right? Yeah. So December, from September to December, that's when I caught it, honey. And it's been on from there. And mind you, in December, I was in Luke. I finished Revelation.
Hallelujah.
In February.
Hallelujah.
Right? Because I wanted to, not because it was an assignment. Because I'm done with you. That's why we doing this interview right now. I'm done with you, right? But I finished Revelation, and so I was talking to Jerome and Tiff, because they had read the whole Bible like 2 or 3 times. When they first told me that, I was like, what's wrong with y'all? 2 or 3 times. But like I'm at Genesis, and I'm getting ready to do the Old Testament, and I'm probably gonna go in for another round, because it's so good. The stuff is principles. We done took it and made it a book of rules, religion, and you run people away. And that's why people leave the church, because they don't have a relationship with God. Y'all done forced the church on them so much. And when somebody at the church mess them up or get them mad, that's why they go, because they don't have a relationship with God.
Right.
When I tell you, I am becoming the person that God intended for me to be, believe me. Okay. I'm not doing a lot of stuff that I used to do. I was trying to see who on this call, so I could see who, them people I ran with, some of the things I did. I ain't doing that stuff no more. Don't call me with that. But no, it's not. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Just and the one thing, when I got to James, honey, and they start talking about that, them lips will come out that mouth, and how you praise God and you can curse at the same time. Yeah. Oh, where my heart? Oh, because for me, the curse word just put that icing on it. And when my daddy used to, the way he used to say it, it'll cut you. I ain't gotta, he would just say it and bam. He wasn't cursing at us or whatever, but as he would talk and stuff. And so for some reason, when you're telling somebody off, it seemed to be, much better. But I done learned you shouldn't even be telling people off. Shouldn't even let nobody even have you to that point. So I'm still working on it, I'm still working on what comes out of my mouth, but I'm telling you, I'm conscious of it and I'm aware. And it has definitely helped me to realize it does make sense. Like, how can you praise and curse out that same mouth?
Yeah, because we talked about that. And you were like, yeah, that's just kind of like, what I do. That's how I grew up. And I was like, but why is it what you do? Like, you can change it. Maybe there's some pride there. So there was another moment it was like, there's some pride there that you have to say it this particular way and people don't really get it. Or can you say it a different way and it still gets them at the heart? Because everything I said to you, it got to the heart and I ain't cussing none of that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You made me cry once or twice too. Yeah. One of them I kept to myself. One of them I couldn't hold it back. You heard it coming out, but you were saying some boy, it appeared. Yeah. When you confront yourself, like a lot of times we like to say, examine yourself, because that's what the Bible say, examine. But when you confront, that's a little different than examine. Confronting, you make yourself answer.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
You when you confront something, and it doesn't mean hostility. Like, it's not a hostility type of connotation, right? But it's more of a, no, tell me why you keep doing this, Kelly. Not just examine and look at it. Yeah, I be doing that. Yeah. Not just examine and look at it. Tell me why you do it.
Yeah, and then going through those worksheets in the Bible, it helps you to be aware. It helps you to actually see yourself every day. Because too often, we kind of run on autopilot and we just go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And so we can never actually develop in God the way he wants us to. And so, tell us about how it's made you actually really aware of yourself so that you can change.
Awareness is one of my core values. Excuse me, you gave me a worksheet on listing your values and awareness. I started this awareness thing when I started my vegan journey about 2017, right? My parents, both of them were struggling just to be in the hospital and watch my daddy have to beg for a cup of coffee. Because he was to the point where he was one pork chop away, one this, one that, like that was something for me. And I made up in my mind, going through my mom's sickness until death, and then my dad. I made up in my mind that I did not want to be in a place where I have to be made that I can't have and do this and do that. And so, Thanksgiving of 2017, went over to one of my clients, her house, because she would always cook Thanksgiving for everybody, big plates, right? And me and Fred, we pigged out, right? Me, Fred, and Ginger. We pigged out. And I told Fred then, I'm gonna have leftovers and then I'm going to stop this right here. I need to go vegan because I was shrinking my fibroids, and I was going the natural way by just watching what I put in my mouth. And so this whole awareness thing came to be like in 2017, but it was awareness concerning my health, right? When you got awareness, like what you do in one thing, you're going to do for all, right? Once you get to being the person that you're supposed to be. So the health journey and the vegan, that was just the start of God was lining me up for what I was going to come into. And so when I was in August, when I still had my locks and we were there. Remember, I acquired you when I still had my hair.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was getting ready to happen.
Mm. Yeah.
There is no way that I would be able to go through what I'm going through. There's no way. Not doing it my way. I had already started, well, God had already lined it up that I get me some help. I still had hair when I started getting my outside help. So when hair was just coming out, sorry.
Mm.
When the hair was just coming out, and I had to be rushed to that hospital because it was just overwhelming to see that. And I realized that hair don't make me.
Mm.
And I put myself in the hospital behind it. They thought I had a stroke. I couldn't walk, just different things that was happening. And we were just in the beginning. I was still struggling with reading the Bible
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when this happened, right? So to be able to go through trials and still be able to speak God and utter God and good things out your mouth while you're going through something, you can't do that on your own. Who do that? On their own. That's why so many of us be living like we living and struggling like we're struggling now, because we need that help. And before I started losing my hair, God had already lined up. Who knew that Fred and Kelly was going to have to move to North Carolina?
Mm.
I knew you, but I didn't know you. No, you know?
Yeah.
Who knew that this stuff was going to be like how it turned out?
Mm.
Did I answer the question? Because I think I went off. I don't know.
Yeah, you answered it. You answered it. And so, yeah, I mean, you actually went back to where I wanted to go to about, that time period, because when you had gotten started, your hair was starting to fall out, and you were like really just consumed, with that moment. And so it was stressing you out and all of that. But then there was like a shift for you where you stopped being consumed by your circumstance and you started to really get into God. You see that? You see that, go?
Well, I ain't had time. Hello. I didn't have time to think about it because I was like this, like, did it what? Lord. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. My mom, we used to be late to Sunday school. So I missed a lot of the lessons and stuff y'all know that y'all think I'm supposed to know. Right? And so sometimes when the preacher would preach and he'd be like, y'all know the story. Remember when such and such, and I'd be like, everybody be like, yeah. And I'd be like, no, I don't know it. Cause I think, no, say it please. So I can laugh and be with everybody else. Cause I'm not gonna be able to follow you. I don't know. We was late, so I'm reading like some of this stuff, like I would hear these stories a little bit here and there. And then that's another thing. A lot of it be misinterpreted. I'm seeing for myself. That ain't
Right.
that was, they ain't saying that. So it really made me be like, wait, hold up. What? Where why we be? Right? So now it's like, I ain't got time. I got to get my word. I got to stay in my word. And what I wind up doing, that transformation, that's going, that becoming, that's why I got ing on it. Because it's going to be continual, right? So it's just, I don't know. The word is in me now. I can't help it. I go for it. I go to it. There's no way I would have ever been able to deal with all the doctors. I done been to every ologist that you can think of. I bet y'all ain't never heard of. Well, some people done heard of a trichologist, I'm sure, right? The study of hair. I bet half of these people on this call ain't never heard of an iridologist. Huh?
Nope.
They look in your eye. And they can look in your eye and they can look round it. Y'all can't see it. You don't have the equipment. They can look in your eye and they can tell you things about yourself, what's going on with you based off of the how the bigness of, like, he can look in your eye and tell if you're a drug addict or not, right? It'll show. The naturopathic doctor, that they can look at these things and they have equipment and stuff to tell you things like that. And so this man was able to look in my eye and tell me that my mom struggled having me at birth. I didn't fill out no paperwork. I didn't do anything when I went to this doctor. I have a witness, my husband and Blanca, because the man speaks Spanish and I had to have an interpreter, and Blanca was my interpreter, right? I didn't fill out any forms. This man was able to tell me stuff about my childhood. He didn't know that my mom almost died having me, and I went home with my daddy and my brothers and my sister, and my mom was still in the hospital fighting for her life. He didn't know that. And he was able to look in my eye and tell me that, because and the reason why I've been to all these different doctors, because I'm going searching, looking for answers. I'm aware that something's going on. There's a root cause. My hair is gone because there is a root cause. Something is going on, right? And so I'm gonna have a lot of skeptics. Well, you went vegan. What, you're eating healthy? Yeah. My eating healthy has helped me to escape the things that my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma, the diabetes, all that. Yes, I did good with that. But when you have something autoimmune or something dealing with the blood type, you have to eat a different kind of way there too. Yeah. Right. So, that's been a struggle, like going to different doctors, spending so much money because somebody's got to answer me. And guess what? It's not those regular doctors that we go and see. I had to go get some outside, like a different type of doctor where I got to come out my pocket and pay for this kind of doctor because they don't even recognize it for the insurance. She's what's helping me in making sense of this whole thing and putting it all together. So I got all these doctors. Like, there is no way I would have been able to do this on my own. I know who's carrying me. I know it, because when my mama passed away, I was dead man walking. So I know who's carrying me right now. And it's all because I reached out for time management and organization, honey. And you wind up, but see, you had to know, you done dealt with enough people to know most of these problems and little struggles that we had, they the root cause. It's a root cause for.
Right.
Right. The procrastination thing and the things that we struggle with, that's a form of anxiety. Right? That's the root cause, and so we've got to learn how to replace that anxiety that with joyful anticipation. I listened to a guy named Myron Golden. Oh man. Yes, his teaching, he Bible principle. The Bible is a book of relationships, money, finances, struggle. It has everything you need in it. It's nothing wrong with the external readings and the other things we do, but you can find it's a lot of stuff in here for everyday life, but we don't trust it because we so busy looking at our circumstances and what's going on around us, and we got the wrong frame around that picture, right? Because belief, there's faith is a belief, and so is doubt. So if you got your picture framed with doubt, then all them circumstances in the inside of that picture, they're gonna be made manifest. and it's going to come out. But if you got faith around that frame, right? Frame, I'm not saying those circumstances go away. You just have a better enlightening. You have a better perspective. You ain't looking at God through a foggy lens. Hello.
Yeah, and listening to you talk now from when I first met you, it's a total 360. I don't see no 180. It's a full circle. You got back to the original you.
Did you tell you ain't tell people okay. Yeah, because what I said to you on that phone, I said, listen, I'm gonna let you in on something. Yeah, because these people, the director of 5 whole choir groups was not praying. Sure wasn't. Well, what you gonna do about it? Huh? You can't do nothing to me. That's between me and God. Right? So, but it wasn't like my thing was, I wasn't angry with him no more. Look at that, me angry with God, the nerve. I wasn't angry with him. I just called myself, this your world, God. This your world. I called myself surrender, and it was just a different perspective and the outlook. But that outlook was coming from a place of low depression. It wasn't good. When you have those kind of thoughts, they are not of God. You have to confront yourself and realize that they are not of God. And so if it's not of God, then it's of evil.
Hello.
It's one or the other, hot or cold. We're not running bath water here. We're not doing lukewarm. It's hot or cold. It's hot or cold.
Yeah. Yeah. And so not only were you not reading the Bible before, you were trying to get into it. Your health and everything was spiraling. You have, friends that were passing away, and you had a real issue with saying no to people. So the way you service people was even like a cycle of, I would say, not dealing with you. So tell us, kind of, a lot of people have an issue with, saying no and really understanding what the proper perspective of service and taking care of yourself. So talk about that and how we kind of went through that journey.
I was serving people every time it was a funeral. I was there. I felt like that was helping me to be there for somebody, knowing that I was going through, right, and to be able to go and be of service to somebody else. And while my mom always told me, take it off yourself and go, bless and be there. And because I remember when looking up, I remember looking up and seeing those people come all the way from Orlando to my mom's funeral, right? Or come from wherever they came from, New York, wherever they came from, even if it was right down the street, the fact that they took the time to come to be there with you while you're going through, that was encouraging to me. So I tried to be that for anybody that was in my circle or somebody, even if it was somebody, cousin, uncle, I was there because I know what that felt like, right? And so it was encouraging to be an encouragement to somebody, who can relate, because a lot of times if you haven't gone through something, it's hard for you to be able to try to help somebody else through it, right? So especially the people that lost parents, right? So if they lost a father or something, I really can't relate. I couldn't relate at that time because I still had my dad. But if it was a mother, I definitely was there, because come on, say it, get it out. I know what you feel, right? Mm-hmm. And so the service part, I just thought I was doing what I needed to do. Took off and went to Gerald's funeral in Texas. And like you said, you brought up those deaths. My hair was just starting. Like I said, it started in August. We lost Steve. First, it started with Steve back Thanksgiving of last year. My friend Nikki, her husband, passed away. And so these are like peers, okay? This is my husband's friend. This is my best friend. And so it started with Steve and Adrian and Anitra. They drove up. And so Adrian's singing at Steve's funeral with me. And then not even a whole year later, it's Adrian. Right? And Gerald. And it's like, these are peers, Kendra. These people my age, my friends. And so people, of course, was trying to, oh, you're stressing, your hair coming out. The hair was coming out before. That's not it. Please don't hit me with the stress stuff, because that's not it. And it that's kind of gets under my skin, because it's like, you don't know. I haven't even told you everything, so you don't know. I got doctors. I don't need you. I don't need you to. I don't need you to help me with that. Okay. So the whole service thing and saying no, I had to start saying no. I remember that worksheet. Where you get them worksheets from? Huh? I remember that worksheet. I
wrote them, honey. I wrote them.
That worksheet that said something about saying no or something like that. I realized that I didn't think it was a problem, because I watched my mama do that. My mama was there for everybody. And I think she thought it was her service to be that and do that. We are to serve, right? Mm-hmm. So I did what she did, and I'm not judgmental. So people would share some stuff with me and drop some loads on my shoulder, and I'd be like, "What?" But I wouldn't share what, like, they felt like they could confide, and I would always give that benefit of the doubt person. So I would always give both sides. You can't get me to pick no sides. I'm gonna do both sides, right? And so I just would always just be there for everybody, because that's how I was brought up, from my mom's side. She just did that. She was there. And I realized that sometimes saying no, like they would come to me with stuff and, can you write a song? We got anniversary for the cats and dogs, write a song. Bam, I write a song, and just, I would never say no about stuff. And a couple of older sisters at the church would say, sometimes you got to say no. And I want to turn to them and say, even when you ask me, all right, is it all right then? When it come time for you to ask, you gonna accept the no? And it just was never a chore for me. It was just something that I did. But looking at that worksheet and confronting myself and seeing it and realizing that, I remember that thing you gave me. You said, when people call you and ask you something, you said, you cannot answer them right away. You got to tell them, let me get back with you. And go check your schedule. What schedule? Oh, yeah, that's right. Time management, organization. That schedule that you're making me write. Hello. But let me tell you something. I love that schedule, honey. I got shakes. I put everything on that schedule. Make shakes, take supplements, do treatments. All that's written down. Everything. Mm-hmm. Walk outside. I have treatments that I have to do. I have to go out and face the east after I do my mud packing. That's going to scare some of y'all Christians, because y'all don't know that we need all that energy. That's for real. I have to go out and face the east before 7:00 for some of my treatments, right? Don't bother me with that. And so to get my body back in with the biofields and in tune with, that whole process, that whole healing process. And that's something. Dang, I'm thinking about that right now. Where was I going? What was I answering? Oh, the no. So I would have to, you can take it out. I would have to, I have to say no now for real, because when I do my treatments, I can't be on the phone. I can't have, these things, metals, nothing. I can't have anything like that, in, around, or on me. No earbuds, no nothing. And I have to be in a place, in a space in my mind. And so just having to say no just started becoming easier, because I realized that when I was saying no to them, I was saying yes to myself. And I didn't realize that that can sometimes be a problem. it's okay to serve and do, but just do what you can, when you can.
Yeah. You ain't got to be everybody's God. Just do your part. Just do your part. So we kind of went through, you getting back to God, like some of the changing factors of reading the Bible, and through the worksheets, just becoming more aware of like your just everyday daily habits and all that good stuff. So once we got done with that part, then the target audience came. Tell me a little bit about that experience of me, giving you that worksheet, and you're like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm about to do.
Yeah. So the target audience, the thing of it is, like I'm writing a book right now, and I think I don't know if you tricked me or this part of your program or whatever. But when you was like, write the stuff out, I realized that I was writing my life story, right? And I was speaking to
Hallelujah.
Kelly. So my target audience is women 35 to 55. And that is 10 years ago, the 10 years ago, Kelly, right? So I'm going to be helping people wherever I was 10 years ago and whatever I was doing 10 years ago. I'm not there anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then in 5 years is stuff, and then now I'm here, and so then I still have to get to the next stage and stuff. So my demographic, my target audience is people. I wanted to address people that were around my age, my 10 years younger self, and my what's becoming 10 years older self, right? And I know that all of us, I don't even have to know your story, but I know you're struggling with something. Hello? You're struggling with something. Why? Because we human. And if you ain't on that supernatural, if you ain't there, it's tough. And I know that there are some people that think they there. But see, your life will show what you believe is based off of who you believe. And I don't have to ask you who you believe because your life will show it. You around here just those dark days and those dark moments, they not good. They not fun. They're not fun at all. And I don't where they come from. It comes from a place that you shouldn't be, right? And when you get to the place where you're supposed to be, those get less and less and less, right? So that I keep forgetting what your question was.
Hey, that's because you in the moment. That's all. But yeah, I mean, you answered that about the target audience and like understanding who you are helping and what you're trying to do, and what God is showing you your real mission.
I'm writing a book right now. I'm literally writing a book, y'all, for real. Like for real, I am writing a book. And I was talking to my buddy Tiff Malone. Y'all know she's writing a book. She's been writing a book long before me. I didn't know I was writing a book. She knew she was writing a book. I didn't know I was writing one, right? But now I'm fully aware and being intentional in its purpose, because sometimes just telling your story and getting on a level with people that can relate is helping. And I don't want to just write it just to have income coming in. I want people to get something from it. I want to be able to help somebody.
Yeah.
This is tough. Y'all have no idea. Right? But I'm able to get through, and I'm able to you got people, they walk up to me, honey, I done got so many gifts. They feel sorry for me, I guess, right? I'm in a store. You can get in front of me. Okay, like it's it's funny to. It's funny. I have to, and I'm so glad I'm working on this mouth, because, honey, some of the stuff that people say.
That's why you needed it. That's why you needed these good old 6 months. But just think, 6 months. 6 months. That's it. A lot of times people feel like they don't know just how, when you're intentional, just how much you can turn that thing around when you put God in the beginning of it. Because for my coaching, if you ain't gonna read the Bible, then you ain't gonna be in my coaching.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about where place I was. When people going through, they don't want to hear about God.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Because if God, then I wouldn't be going through. That's what they think. That's what I thought. Not necessarily, that's not what I thought. What the thing of it is, when to come to be at a funeral and the people come over with the oh, she's in a better place. She ain't in pain no more. First of all, what was wrong with the place where we had her? We fed her, we changed it, we did all the stuff. Wasn't nothing wrong with what you mean better place, right? She ain't in pain no more. I ain't tell you my mama was pain. So why you coming to tell me that she ain't in pain no more?
Mm.
You just reciting those what's it called? The cliches, and you know, and some of it was Bible, but nobody wants that at the time. Just hug a person. Sometimes a hug, it messes it up too, because it brings about that reaction. But just, and that was my take on it. I didn't want to hear those things because I wasn't in that place, in that space. I just buried my mama. That's my mama in that casket. That's my mama going down in that ground. So whatever you have to say is not going to be encouraging. I don't care what you think. For me. Now, it might work for somebody else. Or if that person was in that space, then they could want to hear that. And I'm not saying that I'm not sad and still going through it, but I can deal with it just so much better.
Hallelujah.
And when I feel myself going, like I said, those dark places, those people that struggle with depression, like, and I'm saying those people, I was one of them, but I wasn't to the point where I could do harm to myself, right? There are people that I know that have experienced that and have been so dark and deep where they have wanted to hurt themselves. And I haven't been to that point, but I do understand not wanting to be here.
Yeah.
I do understand that part. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to myself. That was never even a thought to go that far. But I'm not being insensitive to the people that are there where they are that far. But what I'm trying to say is I'm just thankful that I didn't get to that place. And what's happening now, that place where I used to dwell with those depressing thoughts and stuff like that, it's fading. It's fade, like it's fading. It's
Hallelujah.
it's just, it's not. I'm mad at myself for even getting that low. It's almost like, no, God made us in his image. And you know, that's what I'm supposed to be living my life. Like, I represent him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing this at myself. Please don't, if anybody's still struggling with that and going there, I'm not doing that to you. I'm doing that to myself. This is my interview.
Yes. I mean, your life, I mean, again, like I said, from the first phone call to now, it's changed. So although you were looking for a time management organization, and your life just kind of changed in a whole different kind of way. So how did your life change?
You tricked me. No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
How did it change in different areas? Because it didn't just help you with just who you were and trying to change and understand who you were and get out of your dark place. But now, not only do you have that, but you said it was starting to help other areas, all areas of your life. So tell us about that.
I already said, go back and check the tape, 10, 12, or whatever it was, 10, 22. I already said, how you do one thing is how you're going to do all things. Most times, in most cases, right? So it has helped me to, because when the pandemic came, somebody said pandemic. Don't say that. When the pandemic came, I got lazy with my vegan, doing everything myself, and started just going in the store because stuff was starting to get kind of, they was lacking on the grocery aisle. So even people that wasn't vegan kept coming getting our food, right? And so it's like, you ain't been eating that. I can't even go in here and get what I'm supposed to get. So a lot of my stuff I made from scratch, and like condiments, mayonnaise, ketchup, like I made that stuff from scratch, right? So I got a little discouraged because now that we couldn't go out, I had to cook every time we ate. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it was starting to be like, oh my goodness, I ain't getting no break around here. And you can't go to the restaurant, you know? And so I started getting more processed vegan stuff. Like I never, went back from plant-based, but I just started getting more processed stuff, which also could have affected, what's going on, right? Because we all know processed foods is not good for you, right? So just being in that place of getting to where I was starting to just get real relaxed. And I haven't been on the lives and stuff because it takes a lot out of you. And when you don't have the extra help with the production part, like it's a bit much. And the pandemic, I just started slowing down because I was like, dang, I can't go get this food and I can't get that. And I was just starting to struggle with, I was getting low. A lot of people would call me and say, you remind me of Tabitha Brown. No, Tabitha Brown, consistent. She ain't gave up on y'all. I gave up on and then I think too, seeing that them little bit of subscribers, I was trying to get subscribers. I'm like, I'm trying to help y'all. I can't even get all these people I know. I can't even get 250 subscribers. I had Sister Doolin trying to help me out, get people to subscribe. So I started feeling like this ain't what they want. And I ain't going to be putting all this time and effort into it. And out of the 250 subscribers, probably was 3 people that was probably actually cooking the meals and everything, right? So just being able to encourage yourself and keep going forward. And I get a lot of people still say, hey, when you come, I don't have time for it now, honey. I got this. Sometimes I have to stop reading to go cook, just out, just for myself. Yeah, you think I got time for a ring light and all that? Like, so, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just letting you answer how you want to answer. So don't even worry about it.
What did you ask me? Go back, Kendra.
No, I just said, how did it change, all the areas of your life?
So, everywhere. So, yeah, so it has helped me to get sparked back up in, going back to how there was a reason why I got that way. And it was dark place. It was, whatever was going on. And so it's making me be that in all aspects of my life. I keep staying focused on, okay, do this, do that. I have a schedule. I run. I like to do everything in time, in order. Period. No, whatever you do is going to be some time in order to it, right? So learning that has helped me to be like that in all areas,
Amen. So I want to give people some time to ask a few questions, but I did want to, ask you. I guess I could just ask you, who was God to you before, and who is He to you now?
God to me before was someone my mama loved, worshiped, and adored, right? So I got baptized at a young age. I was 9. And I remember sitting in church. Every time the communion tray would come by, I would cry because I felt so bad. Why did they do that to Jesus? Why did they beat him? Why did they spit? And I would actually cry tears, right? And I feared God. I did a lot of things because my mama made me do. Honey, I was drugged. What my preacher say? On drugs. She drugged me everywhere. Every time the doors open, I was drugged. Okay. So then you go off to college and you be like, I ain't going to church today. Why? Because I don't have to. Right. So I went through that for a little while because it wasn't like being baptized at a young age. And I'm not against this at all, because when the children, they see it, they love God, they want to do it. But my relationship, honey, I'm 46 years old. I didn't know God like I thought I knew God.
Mm.
I loved him, but love is action. When you love God, you're going to do and act and be how you're supposed to do and act and be. It's just like that boyfriend you first get. You love him and you want to do everything for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you want to do all these things because you love him. And he ain't had to give you no rules. I don't do this, I don't do that. You do those things because that's what you want to do.
Right.
So I wasn't at that point. I was just doing what the church said, because I would read it, but then the preacher said, "You what and do that? Okay, all right, do that." So I was doing you like I was doing you. I was getting my assignments done. That ain't what it's supposed to be about. When you got a relationship, it's going to compel you to just do the things that you're supposed to do. Nobody ain't got to beg you and tell you nothing. So who was God? I ain't lose my train of thought. Who was God back then? He was God was somebody I know I was supposed to trust in, have faith in, believe in, and love, and right? He had power, he could do this, he could do that. But who God is to me now, he's my heavenly Father, King of my life. I'm a part of God's kingdom. Right? And he's in me. He in me now.
Hallelujah.
He in me now.
Hallelujah. Okay. I have a question from Melinda. Melinda, you can go ahead and ask your question. Hey. I gotta say that now this is a current graduate. So she came in to listen to you today.
Okay. Hi, Melinda.
Hey, I did. And actually, I don't have a question, but God did give me a word to share with you. And I just really want to say that your story is so beautiful. And you can really see the freshness of the Spirit of God in you. It's so evident. And I know that he has so many people that he wants you to touch. And the word that he gave me was to stay encouraged as you step into your next season. And he said that he has already laid the foundation for everything that you're about to walk through. So it gave me a message just to tell you to stay encouraged. And keep that energy going.
I believe that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Thank you so much, Melinda.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mel. Anybody else have
you said she a graduate too?
Yes.
She read Bible.
Oh yeah, she had Bible studies. She's Bible studies months ago.
Look, you saw all the yeses when you were talking. I was like, yes.
Mama, you still there? You can talk here, unmuted. Okay, maybe you ain't there. I saw you unmute yourself, but I don't hear you. Anybody else have? Oh, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Yes. Kelly, I'm so happy for you and how you see God. It's just, I was just writing just the things that you were saying, and it's just, you know what, you're a comedian too. You are so funny. I was just back here laughing, but I just want to say I'm encouraged by your journey and to hear you from Bible to your management, to being able to say no. It's so much energy in all of what you're saying. It's phenomenal. It's just amazing from where God was in your life until where he is now. it's just a beautiful thing. It's so wonderful. And I'm just so encouraged. God has really blessed you. He has just blessed you. Just
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for sharing and being so transparent in your journey in these last 6 months.
Thank you so much. I love you, Sister Cece. Thank you.
Love
Sister.
you. Love you too.
Clarissa.
Clarissa. Oh, I miss my buddies, D and Clarissa.
Okay, what it is, Kels? What's going on, girl?
How you doing?
I'm here. I'm here. So, listening to your story, that joker hit close to home about health. Like, I've been fighting a battle of, being upset with God because all my health conditions that I've been dealing with, it's gotten worse over time. My brother's not doing well. So, how do you keep your head above ground and not worry too much or feel like you're forgotten?
Definitely. I'm sorry that this gonna be the answer, because I know when I used to call my mom and say, Mom, this, I'm that, and she always had a Bible answer for me. And I was just like, Mom, is there anything that the Lord ain't saying? Can you tell me? No, what you tell me? And everything was just Bible, 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 right? And she would say, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Seek ye first. And when I tell you that I would never think that I would be saying to you, honey, what has been helping me, the word. I got in the word, and the word is now in me. So it gives me the strength to be able to deal. I don't know how else to tell you. There's nothing else I can say.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for something practical? Get it. Get in it. Get in it. I'm not saying it takes away any problems, any struggles, any whatever, but you just have a different perspective. You can deal a little bit better. You can keep your head on. You cannot go to those dark places as much.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
Callie.
Amen.
Thank you for fixing my life.
Callie,
Yeah.
this Rhonda.
Hi, Screamy.
Hey,
This is my
boo.
friend from home, y'all. My best friend from Baltimore.
Listen, we go way back. I mean, we have been on a journey. We both have been on, it's like we follow each other on this journey, but to see your growth and to see you, like the sparkle, the happiness in your eyes, the peace, you're beautiful. I call you, I tell you that you're beautiful. You are your mother's child. And you know that. You are your mother's child. And just to see the growth in you, I'm so proud of you. I love you. I'm always there for you. Listen, you got me saying, look, I'm ready to call. What's her name? Latoya? Let me tell you this now. I definitely have a potty. Kendra, I definitely have a potty mouth. But if you think she a piece of work, girl, wait till you get your hands on me. If you can change me, watch out. But Kelly, I'm just so proud of you. I'm in the Cheesecake Factory right now, and I had to walk out so I can talk. But your story, your journey, Kelly, all of it. I'm just proud of you. Keep doing you, baby. You all right. You all right. Your mom, your dad, they got their hands over you. They watching you. You know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you remember, I'm going to hit you with this, Callie. Callie, your mother is waiting for you. And you finish it up.
And I'm waiting for you.
I love you. I'm going to go
love you too. Thank you for coming, Rhonda. I love
you. All right, everybody.
I'm sorry to make you cry.
It's okay. That's
All right.
when y'all from home. We lost our moms like one behind each other. It was three of us, me, Sylvia, and Rhonda. And
And then years later, our dad.
and then years later, all of our dads, and we were childhood friends, and it's been tough.
We got time for one more question. So if anybody else has a question, we have time for one more.
What time is over?
It's 8:09. We a few minutes over. Oh, okay. Clarice.
Hey, Kelly, I just want to thank you for sharing your testimony. I mean, you're so beautiful. Like your personality is so infectious, so infectious. And first of all, you have the perfect shaped head, so it don't matter if you have hair or not because you're rocking it. Okay, 10. But you just have just thank you. I just wanted to thank you for sharing your testimony. I know it took strength and courage. I have been to Kendra's classes. She does not go easy on you. She means what she says and says what she means. And it all works out for God's glory, and it's amazing. And so you have encouraged me. Your story has encouraged me. And I just want to thank you for sharing who you are. And it doesn't matter how many followers you have or anything, because you are changing lives, whether it's 2, whether it's 2,000, you're changing lives. So God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clarice.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And as she said, if anybody does want some help, I did put the link in the chat. So if you want to hit me up, come into the membership, that's going to be at the lowest price point is the membership. So I'm just going to be honest with you, because if you want some one-on-one services, it's going to cost for you. But the membership is the digital ministry, and it's coming out for God. But going through that same process that Kelly did, which I call get your mind right, get your business right, and then of course getting that ministry right. So if you do want to join me, just let me know. I'm going to put all the links in the chat. I'll put it in Facebook as well. And you can always look me up under Kendra Dublin, whether it's on Facebook or Google, whatever you want to, whatever you want to do. You can just hit me up, and I'll put it in the chat a few times just so you guys have it. Kelly, you have a last word that you want to share with the people before we go?
I challenge people when they go in to read. I want them to when they start reading, don't read from a place. Don't take your doctrine to the Bible. Go to the Bible to get the doctrine from the Bible. When you go in here, read it not on what you already know. Otherwise, you're being like the scribes and the Pharisees when you do that, right? Can't nobody tell you nothing because you already know this, and that. You can't, don't do that. It's right here. You need to, a lot of stuff has been misinterpreted. I will say for, as what I'm reading and my studying and stuff. And I just challenge you to study for yourself. We not having church for no reason. That was just a place. That's a place where we go to be together and worship. And I remember, sometimes you leave the church, somebody cut you off. Honey, you just finished doing that, and now you turn that hand around and you're doing something else with it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how does that happen? Because it ain't no relationship. You just going to church. You don't have the relationship. And I just challenge everybody to get their own relationship with God. And I guarantee you, your life will turn around.
Amen.